Hello, this is the TradeSight Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, the 13th of July, 2014, ending Friday, the 16th of July, 2014. Hope you have had a great trading week. I apologize, the 18th of July is the Friday. Let's take a look at the dollar index. I wish there was something new, guys. It's just the same story over and over again right now on the dollar. Not only did we not do much this week in terms of movement, and not only are we still in the range that we've been in now for, boy, we're going to be going on a year here. I mean, take a look at this. 1 year ago on the left side of the chart in the middle of September, we were exactly at this price point. We've reached up a point and we've reached down a point, and that is it. For the whole entire year, flattest Forex has been ever. But we are now still dead in the middle of that range. So let's see, another 2 months and we'll have done this for an entire year. That is just amazing. At any rate, that basically means we don't have a lot new to say technically on the daily broader chart time frames. Here's a look at the euro dollar. Again, same kind of thing. This is exactly where it was about 10 months ago, and banging between a green and red static trend line for the last 2 months, which is inside of a 200 pip range essentially. That's horrible there. Look at the pound. Now this one's at least drifted higher over the last couple months, but very slowly. And unfortunately, look at this last week. You don't even, I mean, when we look at the intra-week action, you can see you don't even have 100 pips of range for the whole week. Now you've got the Aussie, also very flat here. And the New Zealand dollar, kind of trying to make new highs. And the pound yen, man, also very flat. That's just really poor action across the board on all these pairs. All right, so let's look at what we did this week. Intra-week. This is the 30-minute bar charts. Start with the euro dollar, high to low for the entire week, 75 pips exactly, the entire week. Remember, this is something that usually, typically over the last 10 years, averages 130 pips of range per day and about 300 pips of range per week. We got 75 pips for the whole week here on the euro dollar, and it's barely even worth pointing out what we did day by day. We are up about 15 pips for the entire week. So there's not much to say there. And the pound, I'm going to switch to that now, not much better. This is even flatter, opening or closing about, 30 pips down for the week. And the total range for the week here, also about 80 pips. So this one's even messier. And if there was such a thing as a middle area for the week, I mean, we spent a whole bunch of time in about a 20 pip range for the whole entire week. Just really, really poor action. So, again, I mean, there's not much to talk about in terms of predictions. There's no chart patterns on the daily that are looming for big breakouts or moves. There's no bar counts on the daily that are doing the same. There's nothing to focus on from that perspective. All we can do is just keep doing our intraday setups and going from there, looking for our Seeker and Comer exhaustion counts intraday, and that's it. I mean, there's nothing else to do. We'll remain half size in the market. Obviously, August is not usually the month of the year. We're still in July here, but July and August, not usually the months where things pick up. They usually pick up in September. Last year that didn't happen. We've been sitting half size since last September. So we'll see if we pick up this September, but obviously we don't expect August to be exciting. Let's look at this next week and see what we do have to focus on in terms of economic data. This is already options expiration week for July. It is a single expiration, should not have much of an impact on the Forex market. In terms of economic data, nothing really Sunday. Monday, we've got Japan's revised industrial production, bank holiday in France on Monday, new loans and M2 money supply in China, industrial production out of Europe. We've got the monetary policy meeting minutes out of Australia and their new motor vehicle sales, and then the statement from the Bank of Japan with their rate announcement going into Tuesday. Switzerland's PPI. Here's a big data dump out of the UK at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. CPI, PPI, and RPI, all basically their inflation in numbers right there in one little release. We've got zoo economic sentiment out of Europe 30 minutes later. U.S. has retail sales, Empire State Manufacturing Index, and import prices at 8:30 a.m. Monday morning. Fed Chairman Yellen's testifying, Fed Chairperson, Fed Chairwoman, however you want to say it. Yellen is testifying to Congress. We've got business inventories at 10 a.m. Then we skip tonight. We've got the CPI out of New Zealand, MI leading index out of Australia, bunch of data out of China, GDP, industrial production, fixed asset investments year to date, NBS press conferences, retail sales out of China, and foreign direct investment. Wednesday, Bank of Japan's monthly report, Italian trade balance, UK's unemployment rate at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday. This is trade balance out of Europe. That's a big one. German 10-year bond auction. Canada that morning has their manufacturing sales, and the U.S. has the PPI, followed by tick long-term purchases, capacity utilization, and industrial production. All that's before the bell. We've got the Bank of Canada's rate announcement at 10 a.m. Yellen continues to testify to Congress. We've got the NAHB Housing Market Index here in the U.S. and crude oil inventories. And then the Bank of Canada's press conference from the rate announcement. Beige Book in the U.S. here at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. A couple of minor data points out of Australia that night. Thursday, Europe's CPI, Spanish 10-year bond auction. U.S. in the morning has our weekly unemployment claims data, building permits and housing starts. The Philly Fed at 10 a.m., Natty Gas at 10:30. Monetary policy minutes from the last Bank of Japan meeting. Friday, current account core CPI data out of the Canada, not the U.S. First look at University of Michigan sentiment, 9:55 a.m. Eastern Time for the month of July, and the CB leading index. Remember that Friday is options expiration. So none of our big data points here this week, except for we do have options expiration. As a side note, it is the start of core earnings here in the U.S. for 8 days starting on Tuesday. It's not always a big impact on the Forex market unless somebody big says something big. But other than that, there is enough data maybe to push us around a little bit. It's none of the data I'm really worried about, but we'll remain half size because of the general environment. And we will be here as usual in the lab to help you out make money. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. Have a great weekend, great trading week. Hope to see you soon.